Okay, very good morning to everyone. Myself, Professor Chetan Pagar. I'm working as a training and placement officer in SKN SITS Lonavala. So, first of all, I welcome to our students, okay, all the students from STS group. First of all, I introduce today's HR, Mr. Amir Sheikh, okay. He is working as a HR in JARO Education, okay. And as you know that for today's session, he will be address you for the purpose of JARO Education Preplacement talk. Okay, what will be the process? What will be the scenario for selection criteria as far as JARO Education is concerned? Okay, he will tell you. So without taking too much time, I will hand over the mic and session charge to Mr. Amir Sheikh. Okay, sir, now it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chetan. So, a very good morning and a warm welcome to all the students as well as the placement cell coordinators. This pre placement talk today is to give you a very clear insight as to what exactly the company and job role is all about. I don't feel the need to introduce myself yet again. My name is Amir Sheikh, Manager, Campus Relations, and I will be your host for this pre placement talk. As I mentioned already, this presentation is to give you a clear insight regarding the company profile and the job description. However, before we get to those details, it is very, very important for you to understand the sector in which our company is operating. Having said that, this slide right here, as you can see, highlights the projected growth of education industry in India. In a time span of just 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, as you can see, there has been a sudden surge in the demand for various categories within the education sector. This is good news for us as a company because this increased demand is increased business and revenue for the organization, which you, as sales and marketing executives, will be ensuring that is flowing within the system. However, there are multiple reasons too, which can be attributed to the sudden increase in demand. Number one, increased awareness amongst the rural masses about the importance of education. Point two, it could probably be the changes in the talent acquisition process of MNCs, focusing towards candidates with a better education qualification, and so on. But whatever be the reason, you all need to be aware that indeed this increase in demand is something that we as a company need to cash in on, which you as sales and marketing executives will be flowing within the system. Talking about the different verticals, it all started in the year 2000 with our recruitment firm NetHR. It is nothing but a human resource consultancy focused towards providing quality manpower to Fortune 100 companies that happen to be our clients. If I'm to name a few, that's Tech Mahindra, Nomura, etc. So NetHR is the recruitment branch of JARO Group. Next up is JARO Education, a leading edtech company, a pan-India firm that basically deals with executive online as well as K-12 education. More on this coming ahead because the vacancy that we are about to discuss falls under this category. Lastly, we have our non-banking financial company, JARO Finance, established in the year 2017, aiming at providing lower rate of interest loans to small and medium-sized enterprises. In simple words, we provide the right kind of financial aid to budding entrepreneurs. In fact, I take immense pride and honor to tell you that in a time span of just 4 years, from 2017, it's year of inauguration up until 2021, we've benefited more than 32,000 women entrepreneurs across the state of Maharashtra, which is something that we take immense pride in. In fact, in the long run, to curb issues like unemployment, poverty in the system, I guess the best way to deal with it is by promoting domestic entrepreneurship which we at JARO Finance are aiming towards. So, NetHR, JARO Education, and JARO Finance, these are the three companies operating under the JARO Group umbrella, wherein JARO Group happens to be the parent firm. As of our leadership pool, on the left, as you can see, is Dr. Sanjay Salunke, who is the CEO and Managing Director for JARO Group in its entirety. And on the right is Ms. Ranjita Raman, who handles the Chief Operating Office for JARO Education specifically. Some key highlights of our organization so far. JARO Education was established in the year 2009, successfully completing 11 years in the education sector. We have a staff strength of 1,000 plus employees, but I would rather call it my family, which has now exceeded a count of 1,000 members. And with this campus drive today, we look forward to increase that number even further. We've enrolled and benefited more than 1,50,000 working professionals in all these years by offering them the gift of education. Talking about the branches across India, as I mentioned already, JARO Education is a pan-India firm. Is one reason why having these many branches spread across the country is of utmost importance. Moreover, not only does it provide the ease of access to our customers to reach out to us, but also the benefit of convenience to our own employees, wherein upon selection, they earlier got the opportunity to choose from either of these branches spread across the country. However, considering the fact that at this point of time, the vacancies for all other cities are full, all the candidates are hereby informed that current hirings, the fresh hirings for this campus drive, will be taken place keeping in mind only Mumbai location, which means upon selection, the candidate will be offered their job location as Mumbai only. I'm being very clear about this. However, since we are operating in four different branches in Mumbai itself, which includes Chembur, Thane, Dadar, and Goregaon, upon selection, the candidate definitely gets an opportunity to choose from either of these branches spread in the city. Okay, so I'm being very clear about it. As of the branches across India, we are currently hiring only for Mumbai location. We would expect candidates to be flexible with that itself. For any branch location within the city of Mumbai, you get the benefit of choice to choose from either of the four options. Of the many awards and accolades that the company has been conferred with, the year 2017, however, was of prime importance because we had this award coming in directly from the Prime Minister's cabin. I'm talking about Modi Awards in the year 2017 for significant contributions made in the online education space. Now, before we move on to our esteemed academic partners, it is very important for you to get a quick summary as to what exactly JARO Education is all about. So, hear me out carefully. JARO Education, as I mentioned earlier, is a leading edtech company that basically acts as a connecting link or a bridge between working professionals and education institutions by offering academic solutions. I repeat, JARO Education is a connecting link between working professionals and educational institutions by offering academic solutions. Basically, what a company deals with is it provides services related to online MBA programs. If I'm to help you with a more familiar term, distance learning or executive MBA courses. However, JARO Education in itself is not an academic institution. Rather, we rely on academic institutions which offer or outsource these MBA programs, which in the slide right here, as you can see, our esteemed academic partners happen to be reputed institutions spread across the country. IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Trichy, GNIMS, Alliance University, Wellinkers, NSC Academy, Bharati Vidyapit, IMT Ghaziabad, and the list goes on. Having these many academic institutions on board definitely gives us an opportunity to present a variety of choices to our customers, our candidates who look forward to pursue an online MBA program through JARO Education. As of the target audience, it happens to be working professionals in different companies for a very simple reason that, let's say, for example, there is a person who's working in XYZ company. They, for some or the other reason, may not be very comfortable going ahead and quitting their job and pursuing a full time 2 years MBA degree. Is one reason why they apply for an online MBA program wherein they can simultaneously juggle between their academics as well as their office, their career. Hence, our primary target audience happens to be working professionals in different companies. However, we as a company do not restrict ourselves to that particular target audience. We cater to the requirements of other sections of the society as well. However, working professionals happens to be our primary target audience. So, a quick summary, as I mentioned, JARO Education is a leading edtech firm acting as a mediator between the target audience, which happens to be working professionals, and our academic partners who are outsourcing their online MBA programs. Eventually, the service that our company offers is an online MBA program, or rather, a distance learning or executive MBA course. Okay. So I believe now you have a clear picture as to what exactly the company is all about. Moving on with the job profile. The designation that you're going to begin with is entirely dependent on your current educational qualification. Candidates hailing from engineering or any commerce background or basic graduation, BSc, BCA, anything, will be onboarded with the designation of a graduate trainee. Candidates, however, hailing from a management background, that could be MBA, MMS, PGDM, etc., are basically going to start off as a management trainee. So as I mentioned, your initial designation is entirely dependent on your current educational qualification. However, on the successful completion of your probation period, you will be redesignated as a career development slash business development executive. I'm going to skip the eligibility criteria part because the reason why we are conducting this drive is because all of you all are eligible. So we'll directly jump to the job description. Okay. So, talking about the job description, this is basically an end to end, non technical sales and marketing role with a 70-30 segregation, 70% inside sales office work and 30% outdoor meetings field work. As of your roles and responsibilities highlighted, generating leads through cold calling to meet and counsel working professionals slash students and to achieve the given enrollment targets. However, if I'm to further simplify this job description for you, hear me out carefully. Cold calling, lead generation, identification of a genuine customer, presentation and counseling, and lastly, a closure. What I'm highlighting here is the job description in 5 simple steps. It's a 5 step sales process that you need to be aware of, starting with cold calling, lead generation, identification of a genuine customer, presentation and counseling, and lastly, a closure. So, as you can see, when I mentioned that term in the job description called end to end, right from the cold calling part up until the closure, it's you who's taking care of the whole deal. Hence, the job description basically is designed in such a way with the 70-30 category so as to give you an ideal exposure and the opportunity to become the face of the organization. In fact, when I'm talking about the first 3 steps of the job description, cold calling, lead generation, and identification of a genuine customer, this is something that you can do sitting at the comfort of your desk within the office. Hence, it amounts for the 70% inside sales activity. However, the minute you identify someone to be a genuine customer, it becomes imperative to personally reach out to the customer, give them a presentation, give them a counseling as to how exactly this online MBA program would actually benefit them in the long run, impact their corporate profile, and make them eligible for further growth opportunities. And this particular point, wherein you step out of the organization to reach out to your customer, that's exactly where the 30% outdoor meetings or fieldwork comes into picture, which is eventually followed by the closure. So, as you can see, from end to end, from the start to the end, it was you who's taking care of the whole deal, which is basically end to end sales, from cold calling up until the closure. And as you can see, as a matter of fact, this is a complete non-technical role. Okay, this is pure sales that I'm talking about. Is one reason why candidates who are from a technical background, probably looking forward to shift their career path into management, this could turn out to be an ideal opportunity to begin with. Okay, so that's exactly what the job description looks like. It is a 5 step sales process. I would repeat it one last time: cold calling, lead generation, identification of a genuine customer, presentation and counseling, and lastly, a closure. It's going to be a 6 days working shift with us, with Monday to Saturday and Sunday being a fixed off. And the shift timings are going to be 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. Okay. With that said, we move on to a very interesting part now, discussing the job locations and the remuneration details. Okay, the remuneration aspect has been categorized into 2 sections. Number one is for the management people. Number two is for the graduate background candidates. Okay, we'll first discuss the remuneration aspect for MBA, MMS, and PGDM background candidates. As mentioned earlier, the job location is currently only Mumbai. Okay. However, as you can see, JARO Education is currently operating in 7 different cities: Mumbai, Pune, Noida, Gurugram, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Chennai. However, we'll focus on Mumbai location only, considering that's the only location that we are currently hiring for. Okay. So, at first glance, the table looks very complex, I understand, but I'm very sure with a little briefing given to you, you will get a clear picture. The first 3 months of your service, you will be working on a target achievement model, wherein working for a specified target which will be minimal, and this initial 3 months period is more like an on the job training of sorts, wherein you're blending yourself with the organization culture, understanding the sales process, developing new ties and relations with your senior colleagues, and basically it's more like a learning time phase that you get the first quarter of your service to understand how things are working out. Is one reason why the fixed component, the fixed salary offered to you in these first 3 months of your service will be 30,000 rupees. Successful target achievement in the first 3 months will result in the revision of your salary package, effective fourth month onwards, to 50,000 as fixed in hand component. This is what the fixed component or the fixed salary which comes in hand. We now move on to the variables. The first thing mentioned here is daily travel reimbursements, 3,000 rupees. Please do not confuse this to be your daily office traveling. No. When I go back to the job description, as you can see, highlighted here is 30% outdoor meetings. The daily travel reimbursement is nothing but the travel expenses incurred for client meetings. Basically, for the 30% outdoor meetings, when you step out of the organization and attend a meeting on behalf of the company, the travel expenses are later reimbursed by the organization. However, the reason why this is a variable component is because it entirely depends upon the number of meetings that you attend every month, which unfortunately cannot be the same. It will change every month. Some month you will go for 10 meetings, other months you will go for 25. You never know. It keeps changing. Hence, it is a variable component. And this reimbursement, this amount, reflects in your salary at the end of every month, apart from the fixed component offered to you. Okay. Next up is monthly incentives, a minimal amount of 15,000 rupees. However, we as a company believe in the principle of better the performance, higher the incentive, which means basis your achievement or overachievement of targets, you are eligible for incentives beyond 15,000 as well. However, the good news is there is no upper limit. We focus on the idea of unlimited incentives. Considering its revenue for the organization, it should mean profit and growth for the individual or the executive as well. Okay, is one reason why monthly incentives have no upper limit. When I say no upper limit, you should get the hint that indeed you get to be your own boss because you decide your paycheck every month basis your performance. Okay. Lastly, we have performance come continuity bonus, a nominal amount of 2,500. However, you become eligible for this particular variable component only after completing 1 year in the organization or 12 months of service. Okay. Adding all that up, your salary package for Mumbai goes up to a formidable 70,500. Multiply that by 12, and 8,46,000 becomes your annual salary package for Mumbai location, with 50,000 being the fixed in hand component every month. Just to remind you again, this remuneration aspect is applicable for candidates hailing from MBA, MMS, or PGDM background full time. Okay. So, as I said, at first glance, the table looks slightly complex, but now with a little briefing given to you, I'm very sure you have a clear picture. Okay. I'm assuming the MBAs, MMS, and PGDM candidates are clear now, is why we'll move on to the graduate candidates. The flow is entirely similar, it's just that the figures are slightly changing. Again, the same model for you all. First 3 months, target achievement model, 25,000 being the fixed in hand component for Mumbai location. Effective fourth month onwards, basis successful target achievement, 100% achievement, your salary will be revised to 40,000 as fixed in hand component. The variables again remain the same. Daily travel reimbursement is 3,000. Basis the number of meetings that you attend, the expenses are reimbursed, and this amount reflects in your salary at the end of every month, apart from the fixed 40,000 which is offered to you. Monthly incentives for you all mentioned here is 10,000. However, with no upper limit, it should be an ideal opportunity for you to push that number even further. Wherein it is very important for you to understand graduate background candidates as well. When I say 10,000 here, okay, you become eligible for this amount as well, basis 100% achievement and anything beyond that. Okay, the number increases only after 100% performance. So that is one thing that you need to keep in mind. Again, the same criteria for you all. Better the performance, higher the incentive, no upper limit. Lastly, performance come continuity bonus, a nominal amount of 2,000 rupees, payable only after 12 months of service. You become eligible for this variable component only after completing 1 year in the organization. Okay, so this is the breakdown for the graduate candidates. I'm not explaining in detail because it's entirely similar to the MBA people. It's just that the figures are slightly changing basis the change in educational qualification. Okay, taking the total to 55,000 on a monthly basis, including fixed and variables. Annual package, CTC, annual salary package, 6,60,000, including fixed and variables, out of which 40,000 is going to be a fixed in hand component and the rest is variable. This is applicable for Mumbai location, as mentioned earlier, which happens to be our only hiring location at the moment for graduate slash diploma candidates, full time. Okay. Full time graduate and diploma candidates, this is your remuneration aspect. When I say graduate candidates, it includes engineering students, BCA, BSc, BBA, BCom, everyone. Okay, graduate background candidates. So this is exactly what the breakdown looks like for graduates. Okay, I'm assuming everyone has got a very clear picture about the remuneration aspect. Is why we move on to the next important slide discussing the non-monetary benefits. A friend of mine once told me motivation cannot always be money, it should also be an experience. Is one reason why there exist several non-monetary benefits within the system focused towards creating a very healthy work environment while also at the same time motivating you to push yourself a little harder. That includes IPL contest, 5-star dinner contest, iPhone contest, and so on. However, the non-monetary benefit which takes the cake, in my opinion, is the international trip. Unfortunately, for a single month's performance, we cannot send you on a fully paid international trip. This requires consistency. Quarter performance, half year performance, or even annual performance is taken into consideration for you to become eligible for this particular non monetary benefit. If you ask me on a personal level, however, the amount of time that you spend in the organization with your peers, they do become family after a point of time. So it's vacation trips like these which gives you an opportunity to, create memories beyond the workplace. Rewards and recognition ceremony. Of the many annual gatherings that we have in the system, this one is again my personal favorite. The rewards and recognition ceremony, or the R&R ceremony as we fondly call it, nothing less than an IFA or an Oscar for art. This ceremony is basically focused towards rewarding and recognizing the efforts of sales executives within the system. Not only that, the event celebrates the continued success and prosperity of the entire JARO family coming under one roof and basically having a good time. As of the Q&A session, I understand this for a matter of fact that for a presentation given like this, giving you insights about so many details, there could be several doubts, several queries. However, before you address yours, I would like to use this opportunity and address two frequently asked questions that I usually come across in almost every pre-placement talk that I've given. Number one, students tend to have this doubt that, sir, upon selection, is it that I need to sign a contract or a bond with the organization? The simple answer to this question is no. We at JARO Education do not promote the concept of contracts or bonds. Okay, there is no such legal compulsion that we put on you to continue or complete a specific tenure. No, we don't do that, because to be really honest with you students, feelings of motivation towards your work, love for your organization, and dedication that needs in your working patterns is something are qualities basically that come from within. Okay, no one can force that on you. Is one reason why we as a company do not promote the culture of contracts or bonds. You are free to continue your employment in JARO Education for as long as you feel like. Okay, no contracts, no bonds. Second frequently asked question that I come across, a student asked me the other day, sir, when you were highlighting the job description, you mentioned this term called cold calling. Is it that we have to generate our own database, or will that be provided to us by the company? The answer to this question is a relevant raw database to work on will be provided by the organization itself. However, when I mention the term relevant and raw database, please do not confuse this to be a pre-generated lead. No, it's a database. Like the fact that we are hiring you or you'll be working for a B2C role, we have a dedicated B2B team focusing towards corporate affiliations and academic partnerships. Through them, we generate a relevant and raw database which is then offered to you. With regards to this, it is also very important for you to understand that irrespective of the number of a database given to you, you are expected to put your networking skills to good use and multiply those numbers. Just for an example, if at the beginning of the day you're given 50 numbers to thrash for the day, we expect in the evening those numbers to multiply to at least 60 or 70, wherein for all the people that you had a word with, that you could connect with from the original 50 numbers given to you, you should try and broaden the horizon. Okay, you should basically try and pull out networks from the individuals that you're communicating or interacting with. That way you get to multiply your database and in a way increase the probability of getting a conversion done basis the more people you talk. Okay, so it is very important that you put your networking and marketing skills to good use by pulling out references from the people that you interact with. However, a simple answer to the question is yes, a relevant database to work on is provided by the organization itself. Okay, so these are the two frequently asked questions that I usually come across, is why I thought of addressing from my end. Anything else that the students feel the need to ask, can use this opportunity and address their doubts and queries. Please go ahead, unmute yourself, tell your name first and address your query. I repeat, it could be anything. Okay, it could be related to the company profile, the job description, remuneration detail, branch layouts, anything. Feel free to address your doubts and queries now. All right. It's good to see that there are very few doubts and queries. In fact, none. I understand the explanation or the presentation for that matter is very self-explanatory. However, if in case you had any doubts, any queries that any student is hesitant to address here, you may utilize the group discussion round or the Skype interview process round, which will be taking place ahead in order to go ahead and basically address your doubts and queries in person with the representative of the organization. That too is something that I'll be comfortable with. Now to discuss the flow of this campus drive process. Okay, so looking at the large numbers in which the students have registered, which definitely is very impressive and good to see. However, taking care of this entire process on a virtual background becomes slightly difficult. Is one reason why, as you can see, first of all, this pre-placement talk has been conducted on a virtual background. Secondly, the process, the steps in which we'll be going ahead with this campus drive include: number one, group discussion; number two, Skype interviews. Okay, so the process now includes, as rightly mentioned by Sir himself, immediately after this pre-placement talk today, the students will be shared, will be sent a registration link all over again. I understand the fact that you've already registered, but it is very important that you register yourself on this new link as well. Considering the fact that I'm assuming many of the students were not informed about certain details. Number one, current job location or the hiring location is only Mumbai. Number two, from last year's, offerings, this year things have changed a bit. we have focused only on JARO education this time, which I'm assuming some students were not ready for, because I understand previously when we were here, we were hiring for two verticals, but this year we are hiring only for JARO education. Number three, students from engineering background are also hereby informed that yes, maybe some of you were looking forward to, a core technical job, or looking at least some part of the job being technical. I'm sorry to inform, but JARO is currently hiring for a pure non-technical sales and marketing job. So that if in any way is, impacting your decision, I completely respect that, because it's very important to take a well-informed decision, and you may take that decision probably, not continue if you don't feel the need. Okay, so these are a few conditions that were to be clarified in this pre-placement talk, is why I insisted with the placement cell to ensure that all the students have access to this pre-placement talk, so that they can take a well-informed decision. So only if you're comfortable with all the 3 4 things that I mentioned, important points that I mentioned in this pre-placement talk, and still wish to go ahead with the with the campus drive, with the job opportunity, I would request only then register yourself in this new link, which will be circulated immediately after the pre-placement talk. And as sir rightly mentioned, this link is going to be active only for 3 hours. So register yourself immediately so that you don't miss out on the opportunity. Okay. So this is one thing that you need to do at the earliest. Starting Monday onwards, we'll first be having a group discussion round for all the students. Group discussions will be conducted in batches of 25 students each on Zoom platform. Okay. The details, the backend activity regarding the links and the coordination and everything will be taken care by the placement cell, with whom we'll be discussing this particular aspect today after this pre-placement talk. Thirdly, candidates that get shortlisted in the group discussion round, only they will be, like considered for the personal interview process. Okay, so it's going to be today the registration link activity, then the group discussion uh, process being taking place, group discussion round taking place next week. After that, shortlisted candidates from the group discussion will be facing a personal interview round with the Skype, on Skype. Okay, yeah, personal interviews will be taking place on a Skype platform, wherein this personal interview that I'm talking about is not the final interview, guys. This is going to be an HR round of screening. Anyone who gets shortlisted from this HR round of personal interview, only they will be, going ahead with the final interview process that you will be having with the senior managers or sales managers of the organization regarding a final selection. Okay, so this is the entire flow of the process. The registration activity should be your utmost priority to all the students at this point of time, to ensure that they are registering themselves basis a well-informed decision taken after hearing this pre-placement talk carefully and understanding some, quirks and criteria that need to be kept in mind. So yeah, that's exactly what the process flow would look like. Just a little insight, considering this is a sales and marketing role that you're applying for, we are looking at candidates coming with good English communication skills, presentability, overall, confidence and zest and enthusiasm. Basically, we are looking at an extrovert individual who's out there to, work in a very healthy and competitive environment, looking at growth opportunities. Also, my message to technical students yet again, if this is the time that you realize that I want to shift from technical to management, this could turn out to be an ideal opportunity for you. However, at the end of all of this, as I rightly mentioned earlier and will tell you again, take a very well informed decision. Okay. Register yourself only if you're sure about the details that I mentioned in this pre placement talk, so as to ensure that you don't end up wasting your time as well as mine. This is not an opportunity to take chances with. This is an opportunity where you need to give your 100%. And on that note, I would like to also extend and use this, platform to express my heartfelt gratitude to the placement cell for ensuring this campus drive. Okay, after my message to the students, this is exactly what I wanted to do, because see, students, you need to understand there is a lot of backend activity which goes into, getting these campus drives put in place, and especially with the pandemic situation this year, getting all this done on a virtual background is a behemoth of a task which the placement cell has managed to conduct effortlessly. So, for any one of you that gets selected today, or for any number of students that get selected today, you know whom to thank first. It has to be your college placement cell. It has to be your institution. In fact, the best way I believe to give back to your college or to your placement cell is to put in your best foot forward, and that effort, that dedication has to start with you taking a well informed decision first, going ahead with the opportunity, and just giving it your best shot. Okay, so I believe that is enough motivation and understanding as to what exactly are you supposed to expect next. With that, I would like to end my pre-placement talk here, which I'm assuming served as an ideal platform for you all to get a very clear picture of the company and the job role. So as I said, now it's all on you students to take a well-informed decision. And fortunately, if you are to go ahead, see to it that you put your best foot forward. A thank you to the placement cell and the college's coordinators again for ensuring this particular activity, this campus drive, providing us with an opportunity to select good students and providing the students with a good opportunity to begin with. On that note, I would like to end my pre-placement talk here. Had a great time talking to you all. Thank you so much.